Hey everyone, welcome back to another XRP update. Today I want to start things off a little bit different and really try to spread awareness in one area that I think could help build more evidence on why XRP is still in a very bullish consolidation. And it boils down to one thing, and it is South Korea. I touched upon this topic a few times, but I still think that not many people understand the importance of why this country is one of the main drivers and pillars for XRP's price action and why we're seeing such sustained price action even at these levels. Now, South Korea is undeniably one of the most active cryptocurrency markets in the world, and they usually lead global trading volume across multiple assets. We're not a stranger to that, but among all the digital assets, one that stands out in Korea like nowhere else is XRP. Even on low trading volume days like today, it even outpaces Bitcoin by 2 times, and it just goes to show how much frenzy is behind XRP. And for those that don't know, Korea is one of the most isolated countries when it comes to actual crypto regulations. And although that sounds bad, I think that is also one of the reasons why so many Koreans actually own XRP. 20% of the market capitalization actually comes out of Korea. And without going too deep into it, Korea actually has a very strict capital control over its citizens, preventing them from freely sending large sums overseas. And crypto has been one of the few ways for Koreans to move coins across borders very efficiently. And this is where XRP's core utility, which is fast and cost-effective cross-border payment solution, becomes incredibly relevant for Koreans. And many are unaware that Elliott, Korea's largest crypto exchange, as you see here, is the biggest holder for XRP when it comes to the market share of total supply. In fact, 6 billion XRP, which is around 5% of the actual total supply, is held by one exchange alone. So that's huge, ladies and gentlemen. That's something to keep in mind. And due to that regulatory stance that I was talking about of not being able to trade on offshore exchanges, well, technically you can, but it's not done by common citizens. But most crypto trading is done on local exchanges like Upbit, as you see here, rather than global platforms like Binance. And Upbit, being the largest exchange in Korea, naturally has to accumulate massive amounts of XRP, most likely in custody, to facilitate this trading. So that goes back to why Upbit may also be holding the most amount of XRP to prevent any sort of slippage that may come across in any future price action. So XRP, again, is one of the most liquid assets in Korea, like I said, unlike in the US, where regulatory uncertainty has actually slowed down XRP's adoption in the past, but Korea has consistently embraced it secretively, and Upbit's reserves must reflect that demand, meaning its XRP holdings may exceed those of even some major institutional custodians, and not many people know this. And there's a very interesting aspect of it because Korea's crypto culture is quite distinct, and XRP has been at the center of it for many years. Even though XRP may have seemed like a dead coin, a lot of smart traders were actually building XRP. And when the tradition has already been built, it's hard to change tradition. And that applies to basically anything. When you have tradition, you can't really change that. And that's the forefront of why XRP has been so traditionally sought after in Korea. There's retail familiarity. The community is loyal to XRP with or without the presence of XRP's regulation status, and early adoption is essentially or has already taken place, which is why we may have seen XRP's price action propped up regardless of hardships that they went over the past years. And that leads to Koreans to eventually have that next big thing mentality where many Korean investors still believe in XRP's potential to be a global competitor in the financial infrastructure of these assets. And despite all of the regulatory setbacks that has happened so far, Korea has arguably remained extremely bullish on XRP for so long, especially when it comes to international payments. So that brings me into what the future holds for XRP in Korea. And I think that we are at a pivotal moment where XRP is not just a speculative asset, it's really evolved into a symbol of Korea's dominance in the cryptocurrency markets. And what they're doing is that they're focusing a lot of their resources into just one coin. And with Upbit's massive reserves of XRP and continued retail demand at the same time, the country, I believe, will be the key driver to XRP's global future price action when it comes to the actual implementation of also the technology. So as you can see, we are secretively building up XRP without the West not knowing too much about XRP's positioning within the Korean markets. So that brings me into the Korean won chart, which is very important, and I think many people don't talk about this. And I believe that XRP's price action on the Korean won chart could be foreshadowing some events in two different ways. Number one is that the XRP price action has already created a lower low on the Korean won chart. There is no other exchange that has actually printed a lower low. So that shows the actual retail-driven price action on these charts, that even without perpetual markets, XRP's price action on the spot markets just show the actual relevance of how strong the volume is on spot markets. So with that being said, I think that if we are able to be supported above these levels, that can give us some foreshadowing event that some kind of larger wave 1-2 is already in place, or if we're going to be creating another low, create some kind of WXYXZ pattern to the downside, that could still give us some overall distinct look of a controlled pullback rather than us leading into what could be some kind of impulsive pattern to the downside, which is arguably bearish. And we are seeing that across multiple assets such as Ethereum, such as Solana. A lot of them are arguably in a bearish structure. Well, I'm not sure about Ethereum. I'm more neutral in Ethereum, but it still doesn't change the fact that XRP has been outperforming every other coin in terms of actually holding these levels. While we're seeing 30% minus on Bitcoin, we're seeing XRP even hold above its immediate low, which is very, very strange. So that's something to keep in mind, and that leads me on to what the XRP USD chart may be telling us, that if a lot of people are expecting another low at the $1.50 levels, that actually might not happen, where the Korean won charts actually could be showing us some kind of potential bottom where we might be working in some kind of impulse to the upside where the actual bullish trend continues. So that being said, if that's the case, there's no problem if we do actually create a low, because I do think that even at these lows, which should have been achieved very long ago, is that we're just working within some kind of strict schedule that we actually may just be supported at these levels where institutions and retail are actually eyeing, which is $1.50 to the $1.60 levels. So that's one way of looking at it, and there is another way. And like I said, what if these levels hold? Well, there's plenty of ways of looking at it, and that's the kind of fascinating thing about XRP's chart, is that we actually do have a lot of options remaining on the table, no matter how bullish or bearish you may be, that we actually may still be working in some kind of consolidation phase. There's arguments for it and against it, which is, again, are going to be pinpointing back to Bitcoin's price action. Anything could happen, and the markets can resynchronize with each other, where we can see another low on Bitcoin that can drive the price down for XRP. But again, that $1.50 level is going to be that level of interest, like I said. So if XRP is able to even hold or withstand what's happening against other assets, traditional assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum and so forth, is that it's working on its own timeline. And I think that's a very important thing. I keep reiterating this, but it's very important because it's still working correctively. We're working in a series of threes, and all these series of threes are suggesting what is a corrective pattern. And the Elliott Wave Theory, it only works on two types of fractals, which is a 5-wave impulse or some kind of structuralized 3-wave move. And within that 3-wave move, there are a lot of variations, and one of those variations could be a bullish triangle in the making here. And as you can see, we all have corrective structures in between that could be potentially telling us something that is not really in the actual public, but right now, like I said, the Korean exchanges holding that much XRP, possibly, potentially the Korean retail propping up their price, could still show us that XRP is in a completely different cycle, and all eyes are now going to be focused on XRP. So again, if we do go down, that means that we've achieved it at such a later stage when it should have been achieved at an earlier stage when Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana were all going to the downside. But if we do go down, there is still strong support, and it's just happening at a later stage where it's still extremely bullish even at the $1.50 levels. And like I said, there's other options. There's a possibility where we're just going to accumulate for the next year, where we might be creating some kind of expanded flat idea. Again, this all works in the idea, and the premise is just based on that we're moving correctively to the upside and to the downside within just a large accumulation range. And with every dip, there is going to be a buy up, and that's why I'm talking about XRP being so important with Korean retail investors that they're buying up every dip that they can, because that's the only thing they know. If that's the only coin that you know, then you know for a fact that even if it's more important than Bitcoin, this is the coin to be buying. And that's what a lot of people have been doing for the past 7 years or so. So many people don't understand that Korea might have been the actual driver of keeping the price up against all global exchanges when they had all the opportunity to bring the price action down. And with all these hardships that we went through, even with the regulatory scrutiny, XRP has still managed to outpace every coin when it came to creating higher lows. And that all eventually led to a major breakout to the upside. And I feel like we're just in another accumulation phase as retail is still currently positioned at these levels. And I don't think they're going to be selling anytime soon, that we're just waiting for some housework to be tidying up here. Basically meaning that we're looking for new set of investors and fresh liquidity to enter the markets to actually prevent the price from going too low, to actually show some signs that XRP might be the next thing to actually invest in. And that's why the price action is also being printed and being observed from an Elliott Wave perspective, that we may just be working in a consolidation pattern. Now, we are at sort of an analysis paralysis kind of type of phase where we have a lot of options. And that's the kind of beauty of it. Like I said, we have a lot of bullish options still remaining against bearish options. And that's why I'm still remaining bullish, highly bullish. I'm still 90% bullish on XRP. And that's a rarity, ladies and gentlemen. I rarely talk about this coin I've been talking about it for so long, right? And it's a rarity for me to be so bullish on this coin, and seeing myself very surprised on being so bullish on this coin for so many years. And it all drives back to, what are the markets wanting? XRP. The markets are wanting XRP from the Koreans, and they're holding the most amount of XRP. That's telling. And I think I'm trying to tell you guys and girls that this is a very strong opportunity if we are able to accumulate within these regions. So hopefully that was a little bit of an insight from both, not only a fundamental approach, but also a technical approach on how those two can be connected, and why there's no real conspiracy theory on why XRP's price action has been propped up. There's a lot of haters out there against XRP, and it's very strange to see why this such of a large, caliber of a breakout is seemed as a bad coin, especially with the regulatory issue now out of the way with the SEC case. So something to keep in mind, food for thought. I think that XRP is still in a very bullish consolidation. I think that we are going to be seeing higher levels in the coming year. Yeah, that's how I'm going to conclude it here, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully that was helpful. And if you are interested, please make sure to watch my other videos on Bitcoin and why I'm actually bearish on Bitcoin for the time being. But right now, XRP is still and arguably one of the most bullish consolidations, in my opinion, that may be just ready to pop out of here any moment. And I think that's why we're seeing such low liquidity at these levels, because everyone is already positioned at these levels. So I'll leave it up to you guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.